And so for that reason, a lot of doctors just didn't buy into it. They, it's not real. It's not real. It's in your head. Um, Psychosomatic is a common dismissal. People with weight issues, that's a common dismissal. But yeah, the science community is finally starting to accept it. For my personal journey here in Colorado, I have found providers at a place called Colorado Fibromyalgia Center. So they understand and advocate for um, looking at how to treat the causes and not the symptoms. I am determined at this point that I can cure my fibromyalgia. And that might not even mean that it totally goes away, but I believe I can get my body back to a point where it's strong and it's healed, and I don't experience these debilitating symptoms that actually keep me from living life the way I used to, the way I normally did. I believe my path to healing my fibromyalgia lies in natural medicine, in things like meditation and herbs and biofield tuning with frequency and vibration and meditation. And the hardest part, which is the mental work you have to do, which requires radical self accountability. The way I approach my fibromyalgia is that because I can't really get comfortable in bed, it doesn't feel good to lay down and do nothing. And so I work through it as much as I can. And I think the most important thing is for everybody to learn to tune into their own intuition and trust their body and listen to what the body tells them that they need. And for a lot of people, that is rest. For me, I feel like my life was so restricted and limited early on, and now it's expanding and I have all this life ahead of me. So I am motivated by wanting to work and do things, and my main reasons are I want to hike and I want to dance. So I am on this journey to heal fibromyalgia, and along the way I have actually discovered healing for my emotional trauma and my mental trauma and all the other things that I did that were keeping me low and keeping my whole frequency and vibration low, which is not going to create a healthy healing environment for my body. My hope is that part of this community will come together to support each other through our journey in fibromyalgia, to understand each other and the experiences of other people that are struggling with this, and to learn as much as I can about what people's stories are, what's happened, what brought on their fibromyalgia, because I believe that we do all have the power inside of us to heal ourselves. So now I want to talk a little bit about fight or flight, um, and the body's response. So everybody's heard of our central nervous system. It's kind of the part of our being that keeps us safe, to be honest. It tells us when there are dangerous things. It tells us when we're touching something that's too hot and it's going to burn us. It tells us when we should be afraid because there's an animal snarling at us. So as with all the other systems of our body, each system breaks down into its own components and operating system and parts. So in the nervous system, we have kind of underneath it that breaks down into two immediate groups: the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is the part that switches on when we are in danger. It is the part that puts us in fight or flight or freeze or fawn. Those are kind of the four main responses our bodies have in danger. And that's all controlled by the sympathetic nervous system. It is an involuntary system. We don't really control that. It switches on and activates before we even really understand what's going on around us. And then you have the parasympathetic nervous system. And the parasympathetic nervous system is what people think of rest and digest. So when you're just calm, when you're just sitting around and you're resting, or you finished eating and you're full and your food is digesting, it is the reset your body does after the trauma or the danger is past. And it's actually a really critical part of our body's well-being for that cycle, that little trauma cycle to close. So the sympathetic nervous system activates, and it should be deactivated when the parasympathetic nervous system activates. So we have way more control over the parasympathetic nervous system. That is something we can actually seize control of. We can use different techniques to help us gain and maintain control of it. And in that way, we can kind of regulate the on and off switch of the sympathetic nervous system. Can't really totally control that, but if we can activate our parasympathetic nervous system, we can get that other one to shut down. So with healing, and one of the hardest parts of the healing journey is just learning that self-regulation, learning to regulate your emotions, learning the techniques to activate your parasympathetic nervous system so you can bring your body back to homeostasis, back to a calm, chill fucking state. And that's what I'm going to help you do. I want to help you learn how to do that.